Welcome to the Pinfall, your ultimate wrestling podcast that dives deep into every facet of the sport. Join us as we feature high-profile guests, including renowned wrestlers from the Northwest Indiana area, youth wrestling champions, and coaches from every level of the sport, from youth to the collegiate and international wrestling. The Pinfall is dedicated to covering all aspects of wrestling, from the sidelines to the mat. We'll discuss techniques, coaching strategies, refereeing insights, and recruitment process, while also exploring how wrestlers can elevate their game at every stage of their journey. Whether you're a seasoned competitor or just starting out, the Pinfall is your go-to source for inspiration, knowledge, and passion for the sport of wrestling. Welcome to the Pinfall. Welcome to the Pinfall. I'm your host, Danny Bell, and tonight under the lights, we have Coach Vince Sessa from Crown Point High School. Coach Vince Sessa, he is Lake Central state champion, and for a little under a decade, he was coaching at Region Wrestling Academy, where he has produced massive talent, him and a few of the other stud coaches that are there. Then he moved on to, in 2017, to Crown Point, and he was helping with their youth club and their high school, and now we fast forward to 2004, and he gets a chance to see the fruits of his labor and the things that Coach Sessa does on and off the mat are the reason why he's in our coach's spotlight tonight. So, Coach, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. I know you just got out of practice, and I know your practices have to be pretty fun, being that you guys have such a great supporting cast of coaches and such high IQs in wrestling. What's it like to go into that kind of a wrestling community in Crown Point? Because it's really a family there.
Yeah, it's great. We have a lot of people with a lot of great wrestling minds. So we're able to bounce ideas off of each other, see what they're seeing, see what adjustments that they see we need to make. And that's all levels, on our freshman staff, Dari Sherg, works with those guys and works with the varsity two guys, along with Jim Ablin and Mike Odell. They give us a lot of great feedback on what we have coming through and what they're seeing on top of, we got guys in the varsity room like, Coach Hawkins, Coach Lorick, Anthony Hawkins, Dan Bedoy is in the room. Those guys, Vernon Cosgrove, those guys all have great wrestling minds. And to be able to be in a situation where there's like-minded people definitely makes it, I don't want to say a little easier to coach, but more enjoyable to coach when you got those guys that are working alongside you.
I bet, it's a fun thing when you're coaching. You get an opportunity to see wrestling from a different view from the other side of it. Who inspired you to coach? Who got you into it?
Probably all my former coaches, to be honest with you. I've had a lot of people that put a lot of time into me and my wrestling, and it's kind of a dying breed. When you look around, when positions open up, there's not very many people that apply, and I was fortunate enough to have a successful wrestling career, and I just look at it like it's probably my time to give back. And when I got done wrestling, that was basically the first thing I did was get my feet wet in coaching, and I liked it. Started to see some success, so then obviously it further motivated me to continue on with coaching, but not anyone in particular. I just felt like that across the board since I was 4 years old, that I've had a lot of people in my life that have invested a lot of time in me and in wrestling, and I feel like that at the very least that's something that I can reciprocate is giving time up and trying to help these kids reach some of their goals.
That's the biggest part of wrestling is it's not one of those sports that it's really easy to walk away from. When you're in wrestling, it's a one-on-one sport and you're very passionate about it. And you can tell the kids that are going to be coaches are the ones that want to sit in the corner with you and help coach. Like they're going to be a coach down the road. And that's awesome seeing that, giving back to the wrestling community. And you have a lot of talent on your team that does that already. I see a lot of your guys is cheering each other on. you have two seniors in Gavin Gendreas and Anthony Reinhardt. They're sitting at the senior table with a lot of experience and leadership. It's very beneficial to having them. Who else on your team is, exemplifying leadership as well? Because you got a lot of up and comers.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right. We have guys like Gavin Lewis that are turning the corner. Just a sophomore, but he has a state medal under his belt. My son Sonny, Landon Hawkins has been turning the corner. He's been a totally different character than what he has been in the past. Obviously we got Reinhardt, we got Gendris, we got guys like Tegan Newell that have a state medal under their belt. There's a lot of people in that room that can show you the way, or if you can't figure out, you could take a page out of their book. And I feel like that's pretty important when you're young and you're trying to find a path, so to speak, and you got guys that have already been down that path that could kind of give you some tips, show you how to maneuver down that way, and those guys do a great job.
Right. They do. I watch a lot of those kids and I see the way they carry themselves. And it's a testament to you guys as coaches. They really are leaders out there where other schools are looking up to the kids and they're not really doing it. They're just sitting there as the way they're carrying themselves, the way they're drilling beforehand. That's the type of stuff that you can tell that leads from a good practice. Practice for you guys has got to be pretty cool. What's a typical practice for you guys like?
Um,
We have a 3-on-3 every group. There's hammers each side of you,
yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah.
good practice and drilling.
Yeah, and we typically do the same stuff. I mean, I don't think it's really any secret what teams are doing. You could walk into any room and you're seeing singles and high crotches. You're seeing the same bottom stuff, same top stuff. But we preach to our guys that if you want to be a high level team, you want to be a high level wrestler, you're gonna have to carry yourself that way also on and off the mat. You step into the room, you're a professional, you got to conduct yourself that way, you got to take care of business. And you got to have that focus because everybody's doing the same thing, and it's the small details that matter, in the big picture of things. It's whether you're getting your arm extended or whether you're not setting up your shot or you're not having the right follow through. And whether you're coachable or not. I feel like that if you're looking at it through that lens where you're a professional and you want to be the best wrestler you're going to be, you're coachable because you want to find that secret that is going to get you over the top.
Well, you guys have a few of those secrets because I look at your guys' schedule and it's a grueling schedule. There's no cupcakes on there. You guys have even your regular dual matches are pretty tough, and you got some people who normally weren't as tough that are really getting better. What's it like, and what are the benefits of having such a grueling schedule? You guys get to really good competition.
Yeah, I mean, and we're pretty fortunate because we do go to the Ironman, we have the Carnahan, we have the Al Smith, we go to Team State. Um, but again, I think that putting yourself in that situation kind of takes away the fear when you're wrestling another state ranked guys. If you're speaking locally and you just have a conference schedule and you got your regular tournament schedule and not any really marquee match or anything like that, you tend to wrestle those number one, number two ranked guys a little bit more hesitant than if you maybe wrestled national caliber guys. You wrestle national caliber guys and going against number one guy in your state's not so fearful. So
Right.
you could go out there and wrestle in character, wrestle up to the best of your ability because yeah, it's no big deal. And that's a huge advantage that we have to our schedule. And we also have a tough conference. I mean,
You
that
do.
complements our schedule also.
It's
So
one of the toughest conferences in the entire state. And I say that in every sport. The talent that is in the Duneland it's top notch.
yeah,
If you look at the across the board in the United States, this area, the 219 area, you guys are putting out a lot of talent
yeah,
on every single facet and every single sport. That is insane. And then to have to fight through that when you guys get down there downstate, you're kind of battle tested, and that's really beneficial in a lot of situations
Yeah.
where you're not panicking and pooping the bed.
Yeah, and you understand, if you wrestle the number one guy in the state, number one guy in the country, you're not going to go out there and just, walk through them. You have
Right.
good comprehension of what a high level match is supposed to be wrestled like. It's probably going to go the duration. It might even get into the extra frames, but it helps you in your mindset. It helps you in your approach. We see guys that they may have one or two losses or may even be undefeated, and we're really not concerned because the real question is, are they battle tested? You
Right.
know, or are they gonna get into the third period in a 1-0 match, and you're looking for a takedown, they're looking for a takedown, and that guy might go for a throw, and it's why would we go for a throw? But panic sets
Yeah.
not in that situation. You're not familiar. Your reactions probably not very characteristic of yourself. Um, and when we could put our guys into that match scenario consistently, you get a very clear understanding that I need to just settle in, stay in the pocket, and just keep marching forward. And you know, I'm gonna end up busting through at the end because I could be persistent and I could stay focused a little bit longer than these other guys where if they're not battle tested, they're not wrestling these tight matches. um you don't know what their reaction is going to be. Sometimes they
Right.
just cash in their chips. Who who
Yeah.
who knows? But we want our guys consistently in that situation, not only from the perspective that we're not going to be intimidated by the number one or number two guy in the state. We're going to be prepared to wrestle those guys, but we also have a clear comprehension that this is going to go the length. It might be a 1 or 2 point match. I need to have good mat awareness. I need to have good clock awareness. Sometimes, like I said, you just need to hang tight, and the other guy's going to break a little bit further, or a little bit earlier than what you are. So,
Right. That's being able to put yourself in those situations consistently and be able to work through them slowly mentally without panicking is huge. And I see that from even in a young age in the Crown Point Bulldog, the premier Bulldog. They have a lot of little kids, and those little guys, they're looking up to you, to the bigger guys, and they see them in these high stress situations where they're calm, they're collected, and I see them almost taking on their bravado. How important it is to have a feeder program that is with the high school and is in a locked step with them.
it's very important. We're trying to create a culture here where I don't want to say that you have to win, but it's a consensus among the boys that you're coming here because you want to win. Everything else that comes along with it, you again, you have a clear comprehension of what the expectation is from a little guy's standpoint. We do the club, myself and Coach Hawk and a couple of the other staff. We do club, and nothing really changes. We're trying to develop that um, first grader just like we're trying to develop that senior in high school. Same system, same everything. Is just kind of broken down a little bit differently, but we're working with those little guys in sequence with our high school. There has to be, a good transition between your club, your high school, and your middle school. And when you see some of our middle school kids, you see some of our little guys, um, they know and they have the expectation of themselves that whatever happens, I'm going to keep wrestling until that guy gets his hand raised. The score is irrelevant. It's not the first time I'm taken down. It may not be the last time. Even if you're on their back, as long as we get off our back, as long as there's time left, score is irrelevant. We're wrestling to the next situation until somebody gets their hand raised. And I think that over the time we've been here, those kids understand that, just like they understand that when we go in overtime, we have a saying with the boys that foot on the line, be ready, because we're not losing in overtime. If you've gotten to that extra frame, let's be smart. Let's wrestle this next frame just like it was the first or the second or the third period. And let's get our hand raised. We're not going in there diving in. We're not going to be impatient. We're going to wrestle it like it's just an extra period. And that starts off with the little guys. They have to get that comprehension, and they do. And then they look up to the high school kids. They watch them wrestle under the spotlight, and for the most part, even some of the kids that are in high school that are not in the lineup, they're still talking about I want to wrestle under the spotlight.
Yeah, that, it's a philosophy in Crown Point. The way you guys approach coaching these kids, and I see it in the corner. I did the same thing with my son, and that will lead into my next question. But I see you guys and you're calm and collective in the corner. When you guys are calm in the corner, when they're stressed out, they're looking back to you first. When you guys are smiling and you're giving the hey, 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 you're all good, or you see Hawk there with his coffee, like, we're good. We're
Yeah,
calm down. We're good.
yeah.
That's a really important thing. And I've got the opportunity to see you corner your son, and we've had this both situation. I got the opportunity to coach and corner my son as well. Watching you coach your son in these high levels, like, what are your feelings on coaching your son? How does that change? Because you know him better than any other coach does. You know what he's capable of because you see him 24/7. How is it cornering your son? How do you think it is for that?
Um, I think it's great. It's an opportunity that as a dad, I'm only going to get these 4 years. But most parents, they don't get this opportunity. Um, for the most part, I do know him the best. I do read him probably the best. I know what he's capable of. I know kind of what he's thinking because we probably talked about it before, beforehand. Um, but I think that the most important thing that you can do as a dad, and this isn't just in wrestling, this is, sports in general. If you plan on coaching your kid, um, leave it at the school. There's too many instances where, um, stuff isn't going right or stuff isn't going your way or stuff may not be going their way. But have the conversation, leave it where it's at, and move forward. Separate uh, your practice life from your home life, and your relationship will be a lot better than if you're consistently bringing it home with you. But overall, I mean, I love it. He's my son. He's been, I don't want to say bred to wrestle, but before the kid was born, we had been talking about, if we have a boy, his name's going to be son, and he's obviously going to wrestle. And I was fortunate enough to have that happen. And he enjoys wrestling, which is great. But it's definitely a great experience. And it's just not me. Coach Hawkins also gets to coach his son, and we play devil's advocates with our two sons. Oh, got to go talk to my boy, and sometimes I got to go talk to LT for coach.
Yeah.
But again, we've been together for so long. I mean, Sonny and Landon have been running around since they were in diapers. So LT's like my second kid, and Sonny is like Bill's, third kid, fourth kid. So it's a pretty unique situation to have two coaches coach their two sons. They're both in the same grade, and I wouldn't take anything back at this point.
No, and I've seen some stressful moments where and most wrestlers would have acted a different way, but Sonny never does. Like, I've watched that kid in moments where I know I would have swung on the kid or at least threw an elbow back off of him, and he's the most calm and collective kid out there. And that's you and your wife. That's where that comes from. That comes from home. And that's what you're talking about, where leave it at school.
Hmm.
When you're at home, yeah, you may, chit chat about wrestling and stuff, but it's important to know that, hey, look, if you mess up, it's not a big deal. It gives me an opportunity as a dad to coach you.
Yeah,
And that's a really important moment. Like, hey, look, I'm not mad at you. I'm kind of happy that that kid showed me that you stink in this position.
yeah,
Now I get to get better,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Sonny has never been the kid who has been uncoachable. LT's the same way. LT's funkier
yeah.
than Sonny, but Sonny, and not to take away from any of the other kids, but he's a pleasure to have on the mat, and people don't really realize that because there is times where he probably should have done some bad
Sure.
things. He never ever does. Like he's one of the pleasures to have on the mat, and that's a testament to you and your wife. And and that's one of the reasons I wanted you under the lights tonight on the coach's spotlight is you don't just make wrestlers great in the room, you make them great outside of school. And that's not just you, it's your whole staff. And Coach Lorick, the way he's putting to guys like you and Hawk and, the whole cast you guys have, he's working and edging his way towards that Hall of Fame. And I really hope that you guys keep doing the job that you're doing because the region is proud of you guys. You guys represent us really well on the national stage, and you guys could walk into any wrestling room and compete with anyone, and that's special because if you're a wrestling fan, you get and as a commentator, I get to see it front row.
Yeah.
Not as good as you, you're front row,
Yeah. Front
but
row.
I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. And that was kind of the thought process when we were coming in, and it's still the thought process. We don't think of Crown Point being above anybody else or anybody being a below us. Um, but I think that if you really take a step back and you really think about it, our goal coming into Crown Point was, of course, win. Let's try to win a state title. Let's try to bring a state title back to the region. But it has a lot to do with what can we do for our sport because Indiana's kind of hitting their stride right now, and I feel like that we're in a transition where um, either teams can follow suit with the bigger schools and open up their schedule and you don't have to be in the Ironman. You don't have to be in the Al Smith. You don't have to be in the Carnahan. But we're sandwiched in between, 3 or 4 really competitive wrestling states where if you just go across the line in Illinois or you go across the line in Ohio, their run of the mill tournament on the weekend
Yes.
going to have far more depth and competition than even our higher level tournaments in Indiana. And if you can expose your kid to that, you never know what's going to turn on the light bulb. You might have a kid on your team that is struggling, and he may have a competitive match with a name that he might recognize, and that might catapult him to want to go out and extend himself, reach the next level himself. And the same thing with the teams. If you're a coach that wants to be at the top, you're going to extend your kids and put them in that situation and make adjustments that are necessary. You're not going to just kind of be content with your schedule and the results are going to be what they're going to be because, uh, we don't quote unquote have the resources. Everybody has the resources. It's just how much do you want to extend yourself to get to that goal? And for us, what we're hoping is that um, we open people's eyes and they realize like they're doing it, we can do it. We may not be able to take the same path, but we could do similar things that are going to help bring us higher levels of success. And if everybody would kind of just, take that and extend themselves and get into some of these Illinois tournaments, some of these Ohio tournaments, Michigan, um, it's going to make everybody better because you look at the state and our 1, 2, maybe 3 guys can pretty much hang with anybody. But it's our 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that don't compete very well at the national level. And I feel like that it's just because they're not exposed to it. And if you start putting kids in national tournaments, taking them to these hotbeds, you're going to see, for one, your kid has it, but you're going to see your kid, if he wants it, he's going to
Sink or
take
swim.
other level. Yes. And we have it. We have it in the state of Indiana. You see what some of the other coaches are doing, some of the academies. There's a lot of high knowledge wrestling people that, are coaching and giving back. It's just, will the high schools follow? Will they put themselves in a situation where they're vulnerable? And yeah, you might go over there, come back, and you might be pretty beat up. But how are you going to approach that? Because we've been in that situation too, where went out there and got beat up, but we come back and okay, well, if you want to be number one, if you want to say you want to run with the big dogs, that's how they bite. That's how they fight.
That's right.
Are you gonna step up and match that? Because I can't do anything about this dude drumming on you. You know, what are you gonna do about it? You have
Right.
we're in front of you. If we don't have the direct resource, we'll find you the resource to get there. But what are you going to do? How are you going to respond? So that's what our ultimate objective is to let's raise the whole state's level of wrestling. Let's just not this corner, but if you just take a page out of our book, take a page out of these other competitive teams, and put them in your book, how can you raise your program? Because I mean, small school, big school, we've seen success on both levels.
Yeah, and it's great to see Indiana coming up, and from what I hear, we have more Olympians that are women than any other state in the United States, which is another testament to what the United States has to, look forward to from our future wrestlers that are women wrestlers.
Mm.
Uh, it's great to have, with the South and the 219. Once we merge in the middle, this state is going to be really hard to stop with the
Mm.
talent that we have, and I appreciate you coming on here and giving us some insight to everything that you guys do and a little bit of extra for it. Having you on the podcast was fun, and hopefully we can do this again, and we'll see you here in the season and
Yeah,
keep it going for us. All right.
absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us tonight.
Yep.
And just like on the mat in life, it's all about how you bounce back. I'm Danny Bell, and thanks for stopping by the Pinfall.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack & Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual cart, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strack & Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strackandvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowell Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
First home, dream home, forever home. Tech Credit Union has the right home loan for you. Their loan officers can help you purchase a home, refinance your current mortgage, or unlock your home's equity to get a cash out for any purpose. Let Tech Credit Union show you why they are the better option for a home loan. Learn more at www.techcu.org or call 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union is an equal housing lender and federally insured by the NCUA.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
We love home internet from T-Mobile. Oh, now Mesh boosts Wi-Fi all over your home. Take a class in your attic, that dead spot is gone. Stream ballet in your man cave, learn to paint on your lawn.
It's glorious.
And now on the road you can take T-Mobile Wi-Fi with you. Hey, stay connected.